What is up, everybody? It is Gino coming at you to give you the full card overview for Luque versus RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos. Before I get started, if you have not done this, subscribe to my channel or go ahead and follow me on TikTok if that's where you're watching this. Like this video, leave me a comment of who your favorite fighter is, what you're most intrigued about, or just leave me a letter because it'll boost the algorithm and keep the community growing. Also, if you want Draftkings plays, betting tips, I've got all that covered. Plus my team that I work with at DFS Army. Millionaires crowned all the time through us. Go ahead and join us. You use my promo code DFLGino. You get 10% off site-wide, and that'll give you access to MMA, NFL, NBA, soccer, underwater basket. Pretty much anything you could think of, we have content for. But that's enough about that. Go ahead, check it out. If you don't do that, just at least do me a favor and like this video and subscribe if you haven't on YouTube. Okay, RDA versus Vicente Luque. So Vicente Luque took a nasty knockout recently. He's 4-2 in his last 6. He has losses to Bilal and Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal was the one who knocked him out. Almost all of his wins have been submission or KO, TKO. So he does have that aggression and that ability to land it. But this is a 5-round fight. He has a 61% takedown defense. He does show durability as he doesn't get finished often. But I want to know how that last one's going to weather for him. He did submit a Woodley, KO'd Brown, and submitted Chiesa. None of those are really aging well from the time that he won. He's fighting an RDA who is 3-1 in his last 4. He is an experienced vet. He has a ton of takedown upside against a guy in Luque who can get taken down. He doesn't relatively have a lot of finish power, but he can land a submission, and he can wear you down and get a finish overall. I do like RDA, and I like him over 5 rounds. I could see him dragging Luque into deeper waters. But don't write off Luque because he could possibly knock him out round 1. But my pick, I do think RDA gets it done and showcases his skills doing it. Next, we're going to go with a dog at plus 200. We have Cub Swanson against Hakeem Dawodu. So I like Swanson because they're both strikers. They're very similar stylistically. Swanson has power, and he will throw in a hurry. He threw over 200 punches or threw 200 strikes in one of his matches. He does have round 1 KO power, but he's fighting a Hakeem Dawodu who's shown the ability to be durable against guys like Evloev, and Juicy J, Juliana Rosa. But, I mean, I think Cub Swanson hits pretty hard. I think relatively, like, Juicy J's good, Evloev's good. But I could see worlds where Swanson may be more powerful than those guys in the striking, and it shocks Dawodu. So I'm going to go with Swanson just because of the stylistic matchup, and I don't see where Cub Swanson is that much worse than him. Next, we have Chris Daukaus versus Khalil Roundtree. I'm going to give you one here. This is a DraftKings play I like a lot because somebody's getting finished. You have Chris Daukaus, who's 0-3, finished in all of the losses. You have Roundtree, who, again, Daukaus is coming from heavyweight to the lower weight division. He's fighting a Roundtree who's lost to guys like Pragnell, Kudalaba, Walker. Daukaus has lost to guys like Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, those types of guys. So it's going to be interesting to see how that meshes out. I do think Roundtree's just a better fighter overall. I could see him just a tired Daukaus from the cut. Again, I didn't fare well for me last week with that call, but I do think it could work out here with Roundtree versus Daukaus. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Roundtree. Next, we have Yasmin Yusindo versus Polyana Viana. I'm going to go with the experience, and we almost always go with the female underdog. I like Vienna. She has a decision loss to Ricci, but before that, she was on a 3-fight winning streak with TKO over Frey, submission wins over Martin and Whitmore. She's fighting a Lucindo she was in a banger in her first fight. So good that Dana actually had to come and talk to the 2 girls after the fight because it was so good. Then she smashed Rogan Walker in a decision win. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to fade her in DraftKings. Sorry, I'm giving stuff away. But I'm going to go ahead and be lower owned on Lucindo and DraftKings and play Vienna, but I am going to pick Vienna to win. Next, we have AJ Dobson versus Nchukwi. So Nchukwi has that wrestling upside. I could see him getting it to the ground, overpowering Dobson, and landing the ground and pound. If you look at Dobson, he was taken down 3 times versus Petrosian, 6 times versus Malkoun. He's 0-2 in the UFC, and I see that trend continuing against Nchukwi, who does have the edge on experience. Fremd versus Pickett. Let's go Josh Fremd. I don't see many worlds where Pickett beats him. If you look at the competition, Pickett is actually 2-5 over his last 7. He's 0-3 over his last 3. He has been finished by guys like Jordan Wright, Tululan, Dawkins, and Bo Nickel. You have Fremd over here who's 3-2. He does have a submission loss to Gore, which I don't love, but he does have the ability to land a finish with submission or punches, and he has he's 1-2 in the UFC and landed a submission win recently over Dumas. So I think he's improving. I think he's getting better, and I think he will continue to show that over Jamie Pickett this weekend. JP Buys versus Marcus McGee. I love Marcus McGee. I don't see where JP Buys can handle him. McGee came in hot, short notice. I think he did lose round 1 to Nascimento in LFA, but since then he came on. Journey Newson, that typo there, but he got that round 2 submission over him. Looked really good doing it. He's fighting a JP Buys who, since winning his second, so he got 2 Dana White contested series, he has not won in the UFC. So we're going to go ahead and pick McGee. Next, we have Terrence McKinney versus Mike Breeden. Let's go ahead and go McKinney. McKinney is get a finish or bust, and he has shown that time and time again. I think he can get one here versus Breeden. This is his 3rd fight in the UFC. He's 0-2 with losses to Hernandez, a round 1 KO, and then Natan Levy, decision loss. So I'm going to go McKinney, and I like him to get it done in round 1, either KO, TKO, or submission. Next, we have Francis Marshall versus Isaac Dulgarian. I'm going to say Dulgarian looks really good coming in at 5-0, but he has never fought in the UFC. Marshall lost that split to Gomez, which is disappointing because he looked really good, but he was primarily finishing his competition prior to Gomez. So it's very similar, these guys, because Dulgarian is proving himself now, because he's been finishing everybody on different promotions, so now he's got to go ahead and show himself here on the UFC promotion. I do question Marshall's chin, what it will do with heavier punches, because Dulgarian is very aggressive and does hit hard. But I am going to go ahead and pick the Marshall. Next, we have Boudet versus Parisian. I'm going to go Boudet. I don't think Parisian is very good. Parisian's 2-3, and he lost to Dontel Mays. Not really much to say there. If Dontel Mays can crack your chin, I think Martin Boudet will. Jacqueline Amariam versus Montserrat Ruiz. I think I got that right. Okay. We're going to go Amorim, which is the favorite because she has a decision loss to Sam Hughes. She likes to attack a lot of submissions. Her decision showed us that she can go the distance because prior to that, she was just finishing everybody. She did out-wrestle Hughes, and this is a nice little get back spot against a Ruiz who caught a counter right from Lemos and was knocked out in round 1. 4 of her last 10 wins are confirmed finishes, though, and 1 to 2 submissions attempted per fight. She can get taken down and probably will. And the scary thing is, I think Amorim, if she gets her to the ground and Ruiz is cocky, Ruiz could get submitted in a hot second and Amorim walks away. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and pick her. Next, we have Juliana Miller, who has the heart of a lion, fighting Luana Santos. Let's go Juliana Miller. She's plus 120. Santos, 5-1, done good in LFA, has some technical skills, but I think she's going to have to adjust to the aggression, the speed difference, and the experience of Miller, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Miller. But I wouldn't be mad at you if you pick Santos. All right, guys. Hey, so rush to that end, but I hope I got you good information. Again, pause the videos if you want to look at my details. I try to put stats up there. Subscribe to the video, like the video, or subscribe to the channel, like the video, and give DFS Army a shot. Why not? All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you watching my video. Appreciate all you guys hanging with me. Good luck this weekend.